what you see on the analytics tab, there's different permissions, and I've kind of got full permissions on here. So I'll say that you can control who sees what. This is a dashboard that McClone has. I think, Kevin, you have a whole slew of dashboards and things to show. But this is how McClone uses theirs, I guess is the best way to say it. I can't speak for the rest of it. These reports touch every aspect of our company. So our accounting report, so I can see my outstanding retentions, my account receivables, my project payments by month, my project costs by year and average that we run. We run reports on our mandate costs, our average mandate costs, all of our non-labor measurables and everything. All of that is pulled out of our accounting system and put against the information that you see that's pulled out of cost, that's out of Pronovos, the operations side of Pronovos. The equipment report I'll show here in a second. I pulled one open, so it shows the type of report that you can get to cost your project based on those transactions, those equipment transactions. I'll show that. And then even from our project standpoint, we're pulling all of our information, who the structural engineer was, who the architect, who the person, the PM and the engineer on from our side is, and I can filter, I can look at all of my information, all rolled up right here. It's all into the same system. Same thing with estimating. We actually still use Excel to do our estimating, but we've created a button that takes all of our information out of our estimate template and it pushes it to Pronovos. So all of our cost histories, all of how we've done on every project, when we're done with our cost report, our WIP report, we push all of that information to our central database, and it's all accessible through here. And this is really the portion, you know, as we talk about digital toolkit, this is everything for us. I can see every aspect of our company, all rolled up, separated by area, by operational area, even by project if I want to, all rolled in right here. So let me pull up a couple of these reports to show you what I mean. This come through okay? Okay, thank you. So this is just a quick report that we have that shows all of our areas and all of our projects in each area. So if I want to see for Adolfo, for example, he's the PM in our Washington office, I can just click on his name and I can see every project that he's been associated with, and then who the structural engineer was, the architect, the GC, really anything that we want to see. For if I want to see how many hotels we've done, I can just click on this, and for pre-quals, I can pull up all of our hotels and everything that we've done. If I want to look up something by our client, we can go to Kobayashi in Hawaii, and I can look at all the work that we've done with Kobayashi. This allows us to kind of easily, at a very high level, slice and dice our information, even by scope if we do formwork only versus package. We've created these ways that we want to look at our information. It's kind of our view into our project so that we can see everything that we need to see. The other one, and this is the allocation report that I talked about before. What you're looking at here is, this is one piece of equipment. So this is our HV system. It's a secondary beam, a 5'7" long secondary beam, and every transaction that was associated with this secondary beam. When we do that, we put a cost to it, and the cost allows us, and these costs are kind of fudged because I knew that we were going to do this presentation, but it gives us a number at the bottom that is the cost of our equipment against the project for every job for every month. I can change which project I'm looking at here. And ultimately, this is what will get sent to the client, or I'm sorry, get sent to our CFO when we are sending our monthly allocations, so we need to charge our job. There's a different report. Let me try to find this. There's a different report here that I said that is the CSV for stage. We'll click into this. It formats it, takes all those transactions. The report looks different because the view of the reporting is modifiable. We create the information so that Sage can receive it. We add some cost codes to it. We add the project number to it. And there's a one-click button on that export that our CFO takes that information, imports it into Sage, and costs it to the job. So we go from transactions that happen between our foreman and our yard manager, all the way to our CFO, and we don't touch any information, and it's 100% accurate. Everything that's on there, the process is vetted through here. And that's really, this is a low-hanging fruit from an example standpoint on how we can utilize data to make our operations more successful. That was something before that we did with Excel. We would try to track everything in Excel. If you sent something to the job site, the PM would have to go and take a paper copy of a transfer or what was written down, sometimes on a 2x4 like it was back in the day, somehow record it, and then really try to understand what was on our job site as we're gearing up for the next round of, let's say we're getting to a different level of the structure and we need to bring on more equipment. This allows us to really see and utilize and quit doing admin work operationally from one aspect to the other. And it's really the reporting side of Pronovos that we've utilized here and the different reports that we have. I wish I could show you some of the accounting reports, some of the project data reports. I'm just not comfortable showing that information, obviously, for this presentation. But it's pretty cool to be able to jump into one report, see how a foreman is doing on their inspections, and then in like 3 clicks, go look at your receivables all in one page. It's super powerful.
Yeah, and I think, Michael, what you kind of said there, that's really kind of what our goal at Pronovos is, every contractor out there has that mountain of data that they've collected through all their different systems and through all their different projects. And our goal is to help you make sense of that, put it in an organized manner where you can get meaningful insights out of that data that you're collecting on the job site. So as you learn from one project, you can take those lessons and implement them on all the projects to come after it. So Michael, I know you couldn't kind of share your own financial examples, but I've got a couple pulled up here that I think we've got some time at the end that I'd love to kind of run through and just give people a quick flavor of what some of that accounting reporting can look like that we can do.
Yeah, you want me to stop sharing?
Yeah, that'd be great. So this first one I've got pulled up here is a tool that we can basically use where we pull the financial data out of your ERP system and import it into Pronovos. And it gives the project manager a way to go in and make adjustments to their budget. So what you can see at the top are some top level metrics related to the project financials, original contract, budget, what's the margin, how did that change with change orders, what are the outstanding commitments, job to date costs. But then as they move down, what you'll see is each cost line item you have in your ERP will pull over, and we're going to create a projected final cost number where we're basically looking at, hey, are your job to date costs plus commitments greater than your revised budget? And if so, let's use that number. But really what the power of this is you can go in and make an adjustment to a certain line item. So as I click in here, if I want to update this line item, I can add an additional cost of $5,000. And down here, it's going to prompt me to enter a root cause for that adjustment. So is it because there was missing material on the job site? Was there poor coordination? Was it a scope gap? And as you start to aggregate these information across line items, you can start to identify trends across your projects or maybe where you need to improve across your organization. So as I enter this information here, I can go back and look at my full report and see where I might be having issues and what are some of the root causes for that. So I can see I've got $57,000 in rework, 5 different adjustments. Okay, that might tell me I've got an issue with how I'm doing QA, QC on the job site. I really got to take a look at that to understand, hey, is there something we're missing here? Equally important to keeping track of, why things may have gone wrong on a job site are what went well on the job site. Did you save money in a way that you weren't anticipating? Did you use a better process? Did you find a supplier with better pricing? Those things are equally important to capture on the job site so you can carry it over to the next job site and really capitalize on those gains that you're seeing on an individual project. The last thing I kind of wanted to show on this one here is this margin tracker up at the top. This is a really cool tool that as the PM is updating their cost here, they can see how it's going to impact the overall profit margin on the job. So you can see if you're going to experience a profit margin fade or gain on the job. And what's great is it's kind of showing those adjustments it's showing the change in margin based on the adjustments you're making. But if I go over here, what I can see is my original margin to my revised margin changed 0.49%. So that's purely just on how I'm processing change orders. So if I go to my change order report here, I can see a breakdown of all the change orders that I have in my accounting system and how that may have impacted my profit margin on the job. So I can see the number of change orders I have in September, December, what's the status. And then right here, that's going to tell me, all right, how did my profit margin change over time? So I can see the bulk of it changed with this December change order down here. I had a profit margin fade of 0.42%. So I can go down here and I can find that December 31st. I can click on it and I can see all the details related to that change order. So I can see this change order only had a profit margin of 9%, where my profit margin for the job was 27%. So obviously if I'm processing a change order at 9% and my profit margin on the job is 27, I'm going to see that profit fade there. You can also look at it and say, all right, if I had all my pending and even let's say the rejected change orders, what would have happened to my profit margin on the job? So it kind of allows you to do that what if analysis to see how different things would play out. And I don't want to kind of get lost in all the dashboards here, but we have lots of kind of different financial dashboards. Here's a billing dashboard that will kind of tell you what your cash flow like on a project, what's still outstanding, what you still need to receive, what's your average days that the customer is paying you. So there's a lot of different insights that we can provide once we start to get all of that data in one place.